So I was hearing about something today. My husband was actually relaying it to me, something he was chatting with some men about last night, and it's not new, but it just sparked memory, and thought it would be a good topic to talk about because I feel like it's pretty common among the church and just something really good to stop and think about. How it's so easy to criticize and nitpick and point out all the things that you don't like about your church or a church and pick up and leave. You know, like, I don't like this because I want it this way, or I think it should be this way, or whatever, you know, or we don't have this and we should have this, but we don't, or we do things this way, I want it done this way. All these little tiny criticisms. And the two things that need to be brought up about that matter. One, you're never going to find a church that has every single little thing exactly how you want it, first of all. And even if you did, not everybody in the whole church would feel that way. So what do? Leave? No. You know, like, there's never going to be a church that everybody in the entire church likes the way that every single little thing is done and wouldn't change a single thing. Of course not. So then what do? Criticize? Talk trash? Gossip? Slander? Or make a change, make a difference, contribute in some way, do something about it, you know? If you go to a church and you wish they had this and this and they don't, well, then step up and do something about it, you know? Talk to the elders, see if there's something that you can contribute, and maybe some sort of way that you can serve the body and provide that thing that you think is missing. And maybe others feel the same way, and you guys can do it together. It's just really sad to see that people want to sit back and just receive, consume, but not give. And then while they're sitting back, receiving, consuming, pointing out all the little things that they don't like and that they want to do different and that they think should be done different. Instead of saying, you know what, we don't have this program. I would love to lead that. I would love to get a couple of people that might be interested in helping me and doing that, you know? And that way you can serve the body, provide this thing that you feel is missing that other people probably will enjoy as well, and help the elders. I mean, it's not like they can do everything, depending on the size of church you have and all of that. So sure, this is going to apply in different ways to different people because we all have different size churches and we all have different philosophies, you know, in our church. Like, I have no idea, for example, where my church is headed with youth group, but up till this point, we haven't had any kids youth group age. All of our kids have been really young, and so we do nursery through age 5 and then start Sunday school. We do Sunday school all the way like through 12, or I think 12. And then once a child's 12, they sit in Sunday school with their parents. And then church service, once a child is 5, they sit in church service. So they have Sunday school and then they sit in adult church service. And that's just the way it's been. And then Sunday night when we have prayer, they have night, like Sunday school, the same classrooms that they're in for Sunday school in the mornings, kind of like recapping what they learned that morning. But I think 12 and up is in prayer. So that's how we've done it. But now we're entering that season where the kids are growing up and we're starting to have teenagers, not even teenagers really yet. I think the oldest kids are like 12, 13. So I guess that's youth group age, right? So I really am not 100% sure which direction my church is going in, if we're going to have a youth group or not. I have a feeling we're not, but some people love youth groups and want youth groups in their church. And so if, you know, that was something that somebody at my church was like, we need a youth group, what could they do? Instead of sitting around complaining that there isn't one, they could approach the elders about the idea, ask them if they're okay with it, and if they are, start it. However, because certain things may not be part of the church's philosophy as a whole, I don't, that might be shut down. That might be we don't want to do youth group and this is why, And if that's the case, then that family can either say, oh, okay, I buy into this way of thinking. I agree with you and we're not going to do youth group either. Or they can say, well, it's really important to us. And then at that point, weigh it out, pray, seek counsel, and come to a decision on whether they're going to stay and sacrifice youth group or leave to somewhere that has youth group. But that's what I would recommend. And yeah, so let the Lord speak to you through this if he needs to. If this is something that you've been guilty of, sitting around nitpicking and complaining instead of serving and doing something to help, either stop and just be satisfied with all the wonderful things that your church does to serve the body, or stop and get up and do something about it and start something,